Hey guys, Energy back here. So unless you have been living under a rock, or basically if you've been following the sports card market pretty much at all, specifically the basketball market, you'll know that even the baseball market, football market too, it's carried over to all sports. Vintage is up, and when I say vintage, by technical classification, the stuff is all modern. Though modern is often confused with ultra modern, so if I say modern, people might think 1986 Fleer Jordan, or they might think 2000, or they might think 2019 Prism Zion. You know what I mean? So it's. I'm gonna classify this as vintage, even though it's not technically correct. It'll give my audience a better uh, perspective and understanding, I guess you could say, about what I'm referring to, because modern is often um, confused with ultra modern. So yeah, Jordan's up basically 400 to 600%. Kobe's up 300%. LeBron's up 300 or 400%. These cards are pretty much all increased 3 to 4x, and this is not. These three kind of led the way. However, this phenomenon is evident in Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, kind of all the legends. But I think there's still a ton of value in this. I mean, I don't know if value is the right term I want to use, but I guess value you could say. I feel like there's probably a better term that I'm just not keying in on. I've got a little bit of a presentation today. This is something I don't think I've done a presentation since my Optic LeBron video, but yeah. So we're gonna kind of be comparing pop counts and market counts, or pop counts and market caps, with some of the ultra modern stuff compared to the vintage stuff or the modern stuff for all you technical cardies out there. Is that even a word, cardies? I don't know. That's not what I'm concerned about today. Let's see here. So I'm gonna be comparing Zion and Melo specifically the 2019 Panini Donruss Zion, the Donruss paper to 2003 Topps paper. So I was gonna do an exercise today. I was just kind of doing a little bit of a uh, uh, I don't want to say an accounting exercise, but more like a sports card analysis, where I was thinking, oh, let's look at Carmelo's 2003 Tops and compare that to, say, the market cap of Zion's Donruss rookie PSA graded for both of them, and um, let's see how those two match up. But then I thought, well, that's not really an equal comparison, because a more equal comparison would be Topps Chrome, 2003 Topps Chrome to 2019 Prism, as they're both chromium stocks and they're both kind of the key base card, you could say. However, 2003 Topps Chrome Mellow is out of my price range, whereas 2003 Topps Paper is not. So I decided to go with the paper and the downers. I also think this paints a very interesting picture, because when it's comparing Prism and Topps Chrome, the picture is just a little bit different. There's a little bit more justification for Zion's prices. I don't know if I want to say justification, but I think there's a little bit of underlying psychological justification with Prism, where there's not really that found in Zion. That doesn't really make sense, and I'm exhausted right now, so really shouldn't be talking at a million words a minute, but I'll try to explain some of my thoughts as we progress here. So here I just have a little bit of a graph or not a graph, but a table for 2019 Donruss Zion. I decided to combine the market caps of the PSA 10, 9, and 8 because of the way the printing presses have worked in the last 20 years. I mean, there have been a lot of differences between the way the 2003 cards come off the press compared to when 2019 cards come off the press. So including 9s, 10, 8, 9s, and 10s paints a little bit better of a picture here. So as you can see, the total market cap for all PSA 10, 9, PSA 8, 9, and 10 2019 Donruss Zion. This is just shy of $500,000. Total pop count of pretty much 5,300. Which, when you think about it, is a lot, but so that the number doesn't really mean much unless it's contextualized, right? Compared to something else. Oh shit, I didn't. This is supposed to say what? How did that? Oh, I think my computer lagged out. This isn't saved. This is supposed to say 2003 Topps Carmelo, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm referring to based on the image here. Uh, if you look at the pop counts, let's just flip back and forth. Look at that. You're going from like you're going from 2,500 to 350, from 2,500 to 500, and from 400 to 150. So the pop count is dramatic. I could have just used this total number. That would be more intelligent. About 5,300 again, and less than 1,000 of these. This is supposed to say tops. This is really infuriating me, but I'm not gonna go back and redo this. '03 Topps Mellow. With a market cap of only $308,000, which compared to the Zion is nothing. And if we, the big thing here, right, is the market cap and the pop count, and those two things are obviously interrelated. But I think there's this. This was kind of my interpretation of vintage. Not vin I hate calling this vintage. uh, it's exploded lately. Maybe that's the end. Like maybe I don't want to say it. I kind of had the opposite of FOMO. Like I I I knew I missed out and I thought I couldn't get in because everything was up across the board, and that's true. This card has probably increased, probably doubled, tripled in the last 2 or 3 months. However, it doesn't mean it's still not undervalued. And when you look at this pop count, in terms of this pop count, like what are there 15,000 2019 Prism Zions in the 10, and there are 2,500 Donruss. I mean, there's so many of these modern cards, and they're valued ultra modern cards. That is, they're valued at such extraordinary prices that when you compare them to these legends, these cards seem cheap. Um, uh, like 2000. Let's think about Carmelo Anthony, right? This is New York icon Carmelo Anthony, guaranteed Hall of Fame Carmelo Anthony, uh, Denver icon Carmelo Anthony. I don't know. There's just like Zion, yes, he has the potential to become a greater player all time than Carmelo, but Carmelo's like pretty much a guarantee. Like we know, his future is pretty much set in stone. Whereas Zion's is completely up in the air. So uh, it's just like this seems like the much riskier bet than this does. And this is so much cheaper. This doesn't really add up. Um, like it should so and then if we do the ratio here, Zion's PSA market cap for this Donruss card compared to Carmelo's Topps paper market cap, about 40. The Zion's about 47% more than the Melo. Should that really be the case? Should the Melo be, I don't know, 2x Zion? I mean, I don't think we understand how great Carmelo Anthony is as a basketball player, and how many fanatics truly love him. The NBA fanatics, that is. It just seems such a. It almost seems like a. I don't want to say. I don't know how to describe this. It's just so mind-boggling that this stuff is so cheap. And this is just one example. I just chose to do this because I think that was a pretty easy analysis. And I feel like the 2003 Topps is relatively comparable to 2019 Donruss paper. Um, However, these concepts also apply to Wade and Bosch and Steve Nash and pretty much any legend drafted between 1990 and 2005 or so. A lot of these same core principles still apply, and there's still a ton of value to be had here. About a couple of months ago, I bought a 2003 Topps paper. So basically, this card, I bought this card right here, but with Dwayne Wade. I mean, I bought the Dwayne Wade's edition of this card. Not edition. What am I saying? But you know what I mean. I bought 2003 Topps Dwayne Wade PSA 8 for $55 shipped and taxed. Was it $55 shipped and taxed? I think it was. Um, and that card just sold for like 130, 140. I'm holding that until at least 400, or until the day that his Hall of Fame induction is announced, whichever one comes first. Because once this start, I think this. So okay, I've been all over the place tonight. I've got to stop making videos late at night. But what I'm trying to articulate here is that yes, this stuff is up. Yes, you missed the boat a little bit. However, based on the pop counts of these things, I don't think we've missed the boat at all. If we bought all these legends today, 6 months, a year, I mean, the future looks promising for these cards in particular because the pop count is so small. It tells me that the demand really hasn't gotten that high. If there are only like 10, not even 10 of each of these on eBay, right, and there could be hundreds or thousands even of people who would love to have one of these iconic cards in their collections or part of their investment portfolio or flipping portfolio or whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's astounding that this is relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things, especially when you're comparing it to uh, the modern stuff, the Zions, the Jaws, whoever. Not saying that those guys won't become legends, but it's certainly not guaranteed. Um, but yeah, in terms of my personal portfolio, what I've been buying lately, I bought a 2003 Topps Wade PSA 8 for $55 shipped and tax. That card's now selling in the 130, 140 range. Tonight, I actually just picked up this card, exactly this card right here, um, uh, for $72 shipped and tax, which I thought was a pretty nice sale. So if the weight is 150, that's undervalued. This is at 72 shipped and tax. This is highly undervalued as well. There's another one of these things ending in a couple days. I expect that to go for higher than mine did, but I'm not really super concerned. Higher than my purchase one. I'm not really super concerned about that number necessarily. Um, But yeah, this is fascinating to me, and it's also interesting to balance my portfolio because some of my money needs to be in shorter flips, like Zion lots. That's goes back to my lot flipping video, um, where I talked about how I kind of keep a steady cash flow coming in and going out, and um, as opposed to holding all these modern vintage. That's how I should call it, modern vintage cards. Um, like the Mellow and the Wade and the Bosch. So I now have the Mellow and the Wade, and I'm gonna try to pick up the Bosch sometime soon. I'll see what my capital situation looks like. I'll look over that. I think Bosch is also crazy undervalued. I would hope he makes the Hall of Fame. Because if he doesn't, then my card, then his cards will certainly see. Well, they won't see as dramatic of an increase as they would if he were to be inducted. So yeah, I was completely all over the place tonight, so I apologize for that. I'm going to look to produce more. I don't want to say maybe articulate or uh, clear, or I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm looking to produce some higher quality content in the future. So yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in to this one, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in the next one.